So when to begin? The rule of thumb is 6 months old, or even more when they start waving bye-bye. That means that they have enough of the dexterity as well as the cognitive understanding. Oh, they're leaving, so I'm going to wave bye-bye. That's usually the rule of thumb. I always say, you know your baby, teach them when they're ready to learn. You know, it's going to be different for everybody. It's different circumstances. When you see your child hungry for information, hungry for language, then teach them. You can't hurt them by teaching them too early, and you can't hurt them by teaching too late. Just do it when they're ready, and do it so that it works. The most common age for hearing babies to start using baby signs is about a year old. So often I'll meet with parents and they'll say, well, my child is already 9 months or 12 months old, is that too late? No, that's probably the most common age that they start doing it. And that's when the little ones are starting to become really interactive, so they'll actually see consistent progress. Whereas when they're really little, they're not going to see that kind of progress, and so because the parents are not getting reinforced, they a lot of times will stop doing it. So it's most common around a year old for the hearing babies. The most common age for babies exposed to ASL as a complete language is 6 months old. So if I were to have a child and I were to only sign to my child, my husband is only speaking to my child, most likely my child would start using sign language at age 6 months old. We see this a lot with deaf parents with their hearing children or deaf children, and also with CODAs, child of a deaf adult. That means that a person who has deaf parents. That a lot of times, because that was their first language, that's what they want to teach their children first. And they start signing at age 6 months too. And if you think about it, when do little ones start saying their first words? It's different for every child, but usually in 9 months is around the age that they'll start saying clear words, not just making noises. So 6 months is pretty young and significant. The first three. The baby's first sign will probably be one of these three signs. Any baby sign language book, video, website that you find, it's going to highlight these three because they're easy to do as far as dexterity goes. The concepts are easy to convey and they're easy to remember. Okay? The one that I've seen the most of is more with children, with babies. Probably because that is so easy to get that concept across. So, eat or food is this. Hands coming together, kind of like a flat O, at your mouth, tapping. Eat, food, like putting food into your mouth. Okay? I kind of showed milk or bottle or time to nurse or whatever it is that you want to call it. It's like squeezing a hand open and shut. Comes from the idea of milking a cow, right? And it's just open, close, open, close. Easy for little ones to do, especially if they're waving bye-bye already. More is hands, again, in the same shape that it would be for eat, but then tapping together. Okay, how you would do this, how you go about teaching, is that you have your child, let's say in a high chair, and they're eating food. They're maybe halfway done. You know they're still hungry because they've only eaten half, and because you know your child, you know they're still hungry. So you stop and say, oh, did you want more? Do you want some more? And of course, at first, they're just going to look at you, you know, and then you go, okay, here's more. Give them more. Again, oh, do you want more? Do you want more? Here's more. Give it to them again. You keep doing this, and they're going to eventually get that if they do something like that, that they're going to get more, and then they pick up on that really quick when there's food involved. Usually they start by clapping. You'll notice the difference though when they're just clapping versus when they're clapping because they're mimicking this movement. Usually it's this, and then it's this, and then it's this, and then it's this, or something like that. That's the normal development. And so if they do this, give it to them. Good job, here's more. You just do it correctly. And keep going like that. Now you know that they're done. Do you want more? No? Okay, you're all done. All done. Or all gone, or finished, or whatever. You can start using that. Then they'll start to understand the opposites of this so that you can actually, do you want more? And then they'll usually just stick up their little hands like this. Okay, you're all done. Take them out of their high chair, even if they're not done, just so that they can see that when they do that, this is going to be the result of that. They can learn that cause and effect. If they start doing this, even if they don't want more, give it to them. When they're very first learning, they need to understand that connection. Later, when they understand that connection and they're just asking for more, or they're saying they're all done when they shouldn't be, then you say, no, you're going to get more, and give it to them. Okay. Same with food. There's a separate sign for hungry, but if you're not teaching your child to be bilingual, I don't know that it's totally necessary to actually teach them hungry. Instead, you can just do, oh, do you want some food? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? It was wonderful when I first saw little Nolan. He was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years old, and his mom, Tricia, and I were driving to our, every Friday we would go and have brunch. And he's sitting in the back seat in his high chair, and we're driving, and he doesn't say anything. He just starts going like this, and I happen to look back at him, and I see him just doing this, and I'm like, Tricia, he's asking for food and everything, and then she looks back and sees him in her rearview mirror, and she goes, okay, honey, we're going to go and eat right now. That's where we're going. We're going to get some food, okay? Just 1 minute and everything. And so then he just, okay, he knew he was getting food, because every time he would do that, he was going to get food. So Tricia assured him that he was going to get food. He knew he was, and he did. And so there was no tantrum. There was no other communication. It was just smooth. I was amazed. Prodigy, obviously. So anyway, so those are the first 3 that usually you'll see. Okay, so these pictures, illustrations, are taken from Baby Signs. That's a logo, that's a certain company. They have a lot of great resources. They have flashcards and posters that you can actually write, yes, baby attempted this time and mastered at this time, that kind of thing, measurement charts, as well as books and DVDs and things like that. I think they might even have like a CD-ROM. So they're a really good company to work with. They are a company, so they're going to try to sell you stuff. But some really cute pictures. Of course, eat that we just learned. Mom, dad, right? Airplane, right? Or like I had showed you, airplane like this. All done, right? Usually little ones just stick up their hands. Thank you, please. Happy, or with 2 hands, happy. Book, looks just like a book. Love. Question. If a child is signing something and they sign it incorrectly, do you correct them or do you let them make the mistake? There's actually a right and wrong answer to this. The answer is that if a child is just learning, okay, they don't quite understand the whole concept yet. If they're trying to sign mom, right, and they do it like this, which is really common, and you say, no, 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 sweetheart, it's forward like this, and you go like that. That's how you do it. Then they'll stop doing it. They'll shut down because they'll feel criticized. They can't do it right, and they just are associating that they're doing something wrong. They're not going to associate what they're doing right. Instead, you see that they're making the connections, and so you go, that's right, mommy. Every time that you do that and you do it correctly, they're going to watch and they're going to mimic. Now, if they're just looking at their little hands, like, how are you doing that? Or they're looking, then sure, guide them, show them. You know, or if they just mix something up, no, 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 that's daddy. How do you say mommy? that's fine. That's great because they're learning. But if you criticize them too quickly in the beginning, they might shut down. So be aware of that. Just let them make the mistakes and you do it correctly. Okay, so I have several, I think 4 different videos that I'm going to show you. The first one is of Zoe, and this was when she, I think, was 13 months old, I believe. And then I have another one 3 months later. Same with Alexa and her 3 months later. Little Zoe is my brother's child. And she has fallen in love with signing. And you'll see that especially in the older video that you'll see after this one. This one, she's still just sort of learning these concepts. And wonderful videos that my brother and my sister-in-law took of her, and they do a fabulous job of teaching her. So this video is going to illustrate that. So this is little Zoe, and you'll be hearing my brother RT and my sister-in-law Denise in the background. Okay, here's some other pictures of little ones signing. Angel, Cat, Hurt, Mommy. I love these. They're just really cute little pictures. Little kids, if you make it a game, are going to love doing it, especially because it's interactive. They'll feel like they're winning a lot. More pictures of little ones signing. I love this one. Full, his mouth all full of stuff, and milk, and please, mommy, cracker, thirsty. So cute. They pick it up so quick. They'll probably pick it up quicker than most adults, or they do pick it up quicker than most adults. The intro to Alexa. Oh, okay. Okay. My sister's little girl is 6 months older than her cousin Zoe. This is Alexa. And on this clip, to begin with, she's talking to me on the video, on the iChat, which is a webcam on our Mac computers, and so, or on my Mac computer. So she's thinking that the whole technology is pretty cool, and so that's part of what you're seeing in here, is that she's, you know, having fun with that part of it. But also you see her signing, and I'm trying to get her to sign more. And so you're going to see her doing a whole bunch of stuff. So this is 6 months older than her cousin of the video that you just saw.